It is non-stop right now. I cannot believe the pace of how things are moving so quickly. And to help me in this, we're bringing in a great friend of the show and one of the leaders of this whole issue, Lue Elizondo. Lue, welcome back. Tell us, sir, what on earth is going on?
Well, thank you, Ross, and it's always a privilege to be with you and your audience. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing and highlighting this important topic. The bottom line, we've been saying for years now that we do not have complete awareness of what's in our skies. In fact, it was part of my resignation memo to then Secretary of Defense Jim Mattis. And despite if you will, the counter remarks of the Pentagon saying, no, we do, what happens, let me remind you and your audience just what happened last year when we started looking for these UAP and recalibrating our radar systems. We start finding Chinese spy balloons wafting over unchallenged over northern continental United States. And step back even 4 years before that, there was an eerily similar situation in Colorado and Nebraska where drones were being recorded, photographed, and even videoed by local law enforcement. FBI was called out, and they have no idea to this day the origins or where the things were going to or who was behind operating these quote-unquote drones. Now, what I will say, it was very interesting with some of these drones, Ross, is that some of them are being reported without the normal techno-signatures, if you will, of what a drone should be and should sound like. So there's two types of drones we have, fixed wing and rotary wing, and some of these don't seem to be following any of those patterns.
So can I just pin you down on that for a moment, Lou?
Yeah.
There's a thing that you've termed the 5 observables. Are any of these objects, and I'm going to use that neutral term, are any of these objects that are being reported over military bases, over crowded civilian areas, not only on the East Coast, but across the entire US and the UK and other countries, are these objects showing signs of what you would call the 5 observables?
Yeah, Ross, in some cases, yeah. Some people are reporting these things have the ability, first of all, they're moving silently in some cases over major urban area and populated areas. Two, there seems to be some perhaps transmedium characteristics. Some reports have these things coming out of the water and then zipping away very, very fast, what we refer to as instantaneous acceleration. And low observability. Can't see them on radars. In fact, when somebody, an investigator, sent up a drone to chase one of these things, it lost power and his own private drone fell to the ground, and the other thing disappeared into what was described as thin air. Now, I wasn't there myself to see those drones, but I can tell you I have video of these things actually over Andrews Air Force Base. They were over Langley Air Force Base, over some really sensitive facilities that we have here in the United States and overseas. You're right. This is not just New Jersey. It's California. It's Florida. It's Virginia. It's Maryland. It's Washington, D.C. These things are becoming, whatever they are very, very brash, and they're not really afraid to be seen at night.
Let's look at the White House's response, Lou. I'm going to say it. By any measure, it is a messaging public relations disaster. Do you agree?
It is a catastrophe. I have never seen an administration handle a topic as poorly as this. Even you mentioned John Kirby. I hate to say it, shame on him. He comes out and tells people, oh, all these are manned aircraft on normal flight patterns. Meanwhile, you have literally members of Congress taking pictures and videos with their cell phones of these things over their house.
What is going on in the White House, Lou? Why would they say these things when they're so transparently false?
Ross, it's only one of two things, and that's all it can be. Either A, they do know and they're lying, they're not telling the American people, or B, they don't know and they're incompetent. But that's it. So either they're lying or they're incompetent, but there is no other solution. And either one of those is really a bad place for this administration to be in. There's a long history of debacles to include the Afghanistan withdrawal and a bunch of other things that we just continue to drop the ball on. We're not informing the American people of the truth. And this is yet another example of whatever reason this administration, it doesn't seem to have a handle on things. Now, I will say this, Ross, fortunately, and this is politics aside, okay, so whether you're liberal or conservative or anywhere in the middle, it doesn't matter. this new administration, independent of how someone may feel about the new administration, they've got a lot of key people that are going to be on those cabinet positions that are extremely proactive and dedicated to getting to the bottom of what's actually going on. And I think once people really know the truth, the whole truth about this topic, and particularly the UAP topic, I think there's going to be a lot of reconciliation. I think there's going to be a lot of people having to do some serious thought about what this topic actually means and what's actually going on, potentially.
Let me pin you down. David Grush and you have both said categorically that there is a secret retrieval program of non-human technology being operated by the US government. Now, we don't know if the drones that are operating over New Jersey and other parts of America are non-human technology. But let me ask you this in this way, hypothetically. Whatever those objects are, do you believe that the reluctance of the White House to tell what it fully knows about this subject matter has to do with the secrecy surrounding the retrieval program?
It's quite possible. I see two scenarios. I see either A, these are all U.S. made drones, meaning they're our technology, and we have a significant threat issue on our hands, meaning there's somewhere, somehow, weapons of mass destruction may be loose here in continental United States, and they're flying these drones at night with sniffer drones, trying to figure out if we can detect this threat if it exists.
Can I devil's advocate on that one, though? I mean,
yeah, please do, because we'll talk about the alternative in a minute.
No, we have the NEST teams. I mean, I'm told the DOE has very effective nuclear emergency and safety teams, which go in and do this kind of radiological training and search detection. Why would we need to put up multi-lit coloured drones pretending to be aircraft if we've got the NEST teams?
No, that's a really good point. And they've also, why are they breaking protocol by operating only at night? And why are they breaking protocol by not coordinating with state and local tribal authorities as they should be, and other federal agencies like FAA? Why are they not using a transponder? Why are they not listed on flight aware apps that you can have on your mobile phone to track everything in the sky? Why aren't they listing their flight paths with the FAA if they're commercial type drones or military drones? There's a whole litany of reasons why that doesn't make sense. You're right, but I have to put it out there as a form of alternative hypothesis, because the other potential alternative is that we're dealing with two things. We're dealing with, and I don't believe it's foreign adversarial. I believe you could have both a mixture of UAP incidents with real drone incidents as a response to the UAP incidents. Or it could be something even potentially more nefarious. If you really wanted to confuse Americans, what you could do is every time there was a major UAP incident, send up a whole bunch of drones in the area. And then people will start recording drones and pictures and say, oh, that was a drone that you saw. You could do that, right? Part of denial and deception campaign, and it's very much like seeding, right? You start throwing a bunch of stuff of trash in the sky, and people start saying, "Oh, that wasn't a UAP. That was a quadcopter or something to that effect." That is also another possibility. I think that one's that's a bit of a stretch, because that would take a huge coordinated effort, and I think too many people in the know would probably come out and probably blow the whistle on that, if I had to guess.
I've bled my sources dry the last few days, Lou, and
I bet you have, Ross.
I'm pretty sure that, I mean, I know the FBI say it's not theirs, Homeland Security say it's not theirs, and more importantly, the Department of Energy say it's not theirs. We're running out of available agencies. I mean, there's another implication that lies behind this that worries me. Could this be a rogue element of the state?
That would be very problematic. That is, so I shudder at the thought of that, because you're now on very dangerous territory regarding organizations taking unilateral and autonomous control of things in our government, which, from my perspective, that equates to coup d'etat. Right. So that this would be if this happened, if this is actually what's happening, and there is an element to the rogue state doing this, then, my friend, we've got bigger problems on our hands than drones. I would encourage you and your colleagues in the media to continue to pursue this topic, because I think you're going to find that whatever this winds up being could wind up being something truly paradigm changing in the way we look at things from a national security perspective.
Now you've got me excited. Lue Elizondo, thanks for joining Reality Check. We'll speak to you again soon.
My honor, privilege. Thank you as always.
Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.